So with you, because I know, like you said, you grew up in a
Yeah.
a great household, loving
Yeah, I
environment,
did.
but you were around women.
Yes.
Is your mother and grandmother someone who raised you?
Yeah. So my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we know, and then you had somewhat of a relationship with your pops. You weren't
For sure.
completely
Yeah,
absent,
yeah. My
but
father wasn't estranged.
yeah.
Yeah. He just wasn't in there consistently. But yeah, he wasn't even far. He was walking distance, 10 minutes.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So what enticed you to jump off into the streets? Was it the almost feeling that although your father was around, he wasn't around? Was it the abandonment, or was it the enticement of seeing people getting money? Like, which one pulled you out there the most?
Honestly, initially, to be honest with you, like I always say, bro, being a follower, but not necessarily a follower of an individual following a destructive culture. It was cool to be thugging. It was cool to be, just doing the wrong thing. And the more you push that line, the cooler you were, the more you accepted. That was part of it. Me and my crew, I grew up on 42nd and Chestnut. Thing about it is all of us come from good households. We didn't have to be doing what we were doing. None of it, we wasn't struggling. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't in poverty. I don't know poverty, to be very honest with you. It was really for the adventure initially as when we were kids, you know what I'm saying? And then too, because of the type of crimes we committed, which we end up robbing a gun store and different things like that and robbing people, all of that. That was because the environment became very hostile, and really, to be very honest with you, it's like once I look back on it, now that I'm older, I'm grown, I'm able to see they say hindsight's 2020. You're afraid, to be very honest with you. You start seeing your homeboys getting robbed, homeboys is getting killed and different things like that. And you're watching all of this going in your environment. So you become afraid whether you want to say it or not. And so what you do is you tool up. You like, oh shit, I'm not going to be victimized. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when you tool up at some point, you start perpetuating that same element that you were probably once fearful of, and you start becoming part of the problem because it get good to you, especially when you get away with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you see the adulation that comes with it. You see the respect and different things like that, and that becomes intoxicating. Just like getting money. A lot of times niggas that be selling dope, they as addicted to getting the money as the fiends. So that was all of that. It was all of that wrapped into that. But we didn't have to be doing what we were doing. We was just knuckleheads, really.
So you end up catching a charge. I end up being bammed up on the robberies and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so you end up doing how much time in juvie?
I was there for about 8 months.
7, 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but some of your partners got some real time.
Yeah, my best friend J-Dub, he ended up getting 12 years.
Okay.
Because he was a year older than me. But by the time the way the court went, I was 15, he was 16. But by the time he was going to court, he's 17, 18.
Gotcha.
So I went to juvie, he went to the county. So that one little year and a half, 2 years saved me. He ended up getting 12 years. He did 5 years on that 12. And everybody else, I was the youngest one on the case. Everybody else did 10, got 10, 12 years.
Got you. So I assume based on what probably the juvenile laws at that time, first time offender.
Right. Well, they at this time, this is 1991. So this is when they were really trying to figure out what to do with juveniles that committed adult crimes.
Gotcha.
So I remember it was in the newspaper. I was probably going to be the first juvenile to be certified as an adult. So they wanted to give me what they call juvenile life and then keep me in juvenile till I was old enough to go to prison to serve out my sentence.